Tell me about how you realized that you were experiencing like menopausal symptoms.
I think something's just started feeling off. And I think at that time it was probably late 40s. So I actually stumbled across an article. There's a website, it's Chalkboard Mag. They have like a thing they put out, Chalkboard Magazine, I think. And there
Mm.
was an article in there about perimenopause. And I happened to read it, and it listed 30 something symptoms of perimenopause. And I kind of looked at it and was just check, check, check. I'm hitting almost all of these boxes. So
Yeah.
I realized kind of something's going on.
Yeah.
So then I started kind of digging into what I can do to start relieving these symptoms, dig further into the symptoms and kind of just start down that path of figuring it out and
Yeah.
how to feel, I don't want to say normal, but how to feel more like myself, because I wasn't at that point. Just feeling so off.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Like, I remember going through so many things early on. Like, I feel like from my late 20s until I hit what I knew was menopause, I had been dealing with some kind of something, like
That's
some
super
kind of
early.
system. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to my doctor about it and always being met with, "Well, that's just kind of what happens."
Right.
Like, there was no information.
No.
And it like, the symptoms that I was having, um, which they really started progressing as I started getting older, namely being, like, really heavy periods, really painful, getting exhausted, that sort of thing. Um, they hit, like, the pinnacle probably when I was about 45,
Mhm.
and, I finally opted to have an ablation done
Right.
because I couldn't handle, like, what was going on. It was really, really tough for me. Come to find out it was fibroids, but it's all this stuff that they never tell you about, like, as you're experiencing things. They're like, "Oh, well, you're probably having these symptoms because" there was
Mhm.
none of that until I asked what my options were because I was really struggling with, like, how my body was responding to everything from period to sleeping to, like, just going through a whole host of things. And so they offered me up an ablation and said, "Well, by the time the ablation wears off, you'll probably be in menopause. It'll all be and everything will be better then." That was what I was told. That was it. "Everything will be better then." What does that mean? I
Exactly.
didn't ask. I didn't know to ask. Like, I was just like, "Cool, menopause means no periods. Sweet."
Right.
So, as it like, I mean, not to keep going, but a little bit like that's essentially what happened. It's like, I guess the ablation ended and menopause started, and I don't know where that was. Um, what I do know is that I stopped having any kind of period, mostly after the ablation. I think I had a couple periods, like maybe 5. But
Mhm.
one day I was like, "I haven't had anything in a couple years," and all of a sudden, I'm taking a lot of naps. I'm getting really irritable. It's not all of a sudden. I say it's all of a sudden, but it was not all of a sudden.
Right.
Um, my working out, like, my body started hurting, and it was like I started noticing all of these things, and it was March of 2020. And
Of
so
course.
I couldn't tell if what I was experiencing was just that everything around me was shifting because of COVID,
Mhm.
or everything around me was shifting because I was going through menopause.
I think that's a big part of it, because when you look at all those symptoms and you're like, "Oh, I have that, 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 and that." Do you have it because of perimenopause, menopause, or do you have it because something else? And that's kinda also where I struggle with stuff, because, like now I have a lot of hip pain. Is it something, because joint pain is part of it? Is it something? to do with that, or is there something else wrong? So I always start with I don't even know what I'm in because, like you, I had fibroids as well, and I didn't have the kind of symptoms you had, but they were big enough where they couldn't just take, one or two out. It was
Right.
littered in there in my uterus.
Yeah.
So I had a hysterectomy, but they left my ovaries in.
Okay.
So everything else is gone. But I had my ovaries so that I went into menopause naturally. I don't know what I'm in because there's no period, right? I don't know where I'm at, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. I don't know when my body starts to feel something or something changes or, you know, I get irritable or I get angry. Is it, I have the brain fog? Is it because a lot of things cause brain fog?
Yeah.
The first thing is always, oh, is this perimenopause, menopause, or is this something else I need to dig deeper into? So I think it's kind of once you know the symptoms, they get it in your head that, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It
Well, and the symptoms of perimenopause are very similar, I think, in menopause. It's just like a graduated effect.
Yeah,
It was like
great.
but I would say, like, what I started noticing happening, I had suffered with anxiety and, like, different panic styles of anxiety and panic disorder from my early 20s
Mm,
that not really now, like, looking into there are reasons that probably started happening, and I think it runs in my family. Um, um, but I didn't understand it in my 20s. But through different things that I've done, I'd really I'd always been an avid exerciser of whatever, like lifting weights and running and really, physically pushing myself, and I enjoyed that, until I didn't, and then it really started taking its toll on me. But what I started noticing was that my anxiety and my panic anxiety, which are actually really 2 different things, started coming back.
mm,
I mean, I had been a meditator and I journaled and I really got to the root of many things that I felt were causing me anxiety, but I was starting to have panic disorder, like panic in my body,
yeah,
and I couldn't control it with the normal things, and that's when I started realizing that something felt off that wasn't the normal, and I don't know how to control it,
yeah,
and I started looking up and talking to people and asking people like, "Is" "what" just I think discussing what I was experiencing. And people were like, "Oh, yeah. I had that when I hit menopause." And then it was like the light bulb went
right.
off.
Ding, ding. I read that first article and then I started doing a deeper dive because that's what I always end up doing. Then I started asking my girlfriends, some who are older than me and some are younger, including my sister, and kind of saying, hey, what have you guys experienced? Where are you at with this? What's going on? But until I bring it up, or, no one, I've never heard anybody talk about this ever. It's like your doctor doesn't tell you anything about it. My mom doesn't really, we never had that conversation. Like I knew she experienced things when I was younger, but it wasn't like oh, hey, heads up, you know,
Right.
what was giving you a heads up about
No.
any of it? And when you start going through it, you're just like, what in the hell is happening? With women, people just, you get talked about when you're going to have a period. You get talked about, when you're getting pregnant. You get talked about, it's like, but no one talks to you about this. So I feel like bringing it up and like, talking with your girlfriends, talking with people, I ask everybody now. Anyone
Yeah.
that I'm hanging, any women, any like women I'm hanging out with, I'm like, oh, hey, are you, what are you doing for this?
Right.
And
Right.
everyone has like, I feel like a different plan of action because everyone's different with
Yeah.
what they experience. So it's super interesting just to kind of like get it out there. I feel
Absolutely.
like,
What were some of the symptoms? Like, I'd always been told, like well, for one, um my mom had a hysterectomy at 36 and my grandmother at 40. So neither of them, and I think both of them had even ovaries removed.
Oh,
So,
probably
and
back
even
then.
my
Yeah.
aunt had, I believe, had a hysterectomy. So my sister and I had no reference for we had no idea what was going to happen to us, what
Right.
we were going to experience. And by the time, like my other grandmother, by the time I even understood the word menopause, she had already passed away. So I had nobody I could ask in my family that I could model it after or
Right.
just figure, oh, these are the experiences I may have, or, this is what my mother-in-law was definitely of that generation where I didn't have anything. There's nothing to discuss, right? Like, there's no female issues to discuss, and so and I think that is from generation after generation after generation of being gaslit about your health,
Totally.
and it's just it's fascinating to me. So I didn't have those typical, like, hot flashes or night sweats or anything that, people often talk about that is associated with
Lucky you.
menopause. Well, 1, I'm a redhead, and I'm always turning red. I'm always blushing.
Right.
So hard to tell, but I've always had that thing where I'll just be talking and I turn beet red,
Well,
and
there's a
so
difference. There's a
there
difference.
is.
It's a
I've
huge
had
difference.
just one hot flash that I was in the middle of doing hypnosis, and I was sitting and the room was really calm and cool, and I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden I was like, "What is
Wait, were you
happening?"
doing the hypnosis? Were you being hypnotized?
I was doing the
You were
hypnosis.
doing it. Okay, so it wasn't
Yes,
like you
I
were
was
under and
no.
something going on. Okay.
No.
Okay.
So, I was doing the hypnosis, and you're right, it is different than blushing. I
Yes.
definitely felt like it was a heat. I was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe I'm getting sick." Like, I had no reference of it ever happening before, so I didn't know what it was, and then it went away as fast as it came out, but I was like,
No,
I'm like,
it is
"It's
no
so
it's
hot."
it is no joke. It is
One
no
time,
joke.
and that was probably 3 years ago.
Oh,
That's it.
see,
That's the only time I've had that really happen.
no,
So, I really
that
feel lucky
is
about
yeah,
that.
that is it is brutal because all of a
Yeah.
sudden, out of nowhere, I started getting them, and
Yeah.
it is you wanna be home because you need to take all your clothes off and put a fan on you because
Right.
it just it overtakes everything, and mine would last for, like, I don't know, anywhere from 30 seconds to a few minutes, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be stripped down and a huge tower fan directly on me
Yeah.
to pull me off because it's when I would eat, it would happen, just sitting there would happen, and
Right.
it lasted I think it lasted about 3 months. It's to the point where, like, I was carrying 2 handheld fans in my purse anytime I went out because you don't wanna get caught. I was in a movie theater, and my husband next to me and the stranger on the other side of me, and it hit, and you have nowhere to go. I didn't wanna put the fan on because I didn't want disrupt the movie, and I'm sitting here freaking out because, like, it's just the worst feeling because you can't it doesn't go away, and it just you're sitting in it, and
Yeah.
it is horrible, and
Yeah.
I had to take the fan out at one point, and I had to lean over, I'm like, "I'm so sorry." Luckily, the movie got louder, so I was able to hide the fan noise, but it is brutal, and then they just all of a sudden went away.
Yeah.
I read a whole bunch of things on ways to try to, to lessen it or
Yeah.
get rid of it or, kind of take it down a little bit, but, I think flaxseed was one of them. I was putting flaxseed in smoothies,
Yeah.
was eating flaxseed every day. I don't know anything that I did, I can't say that was what got rid of it. But that's what led me that was what led me to look into like HRT, to hormone replacement therapy. I started reading up on all these, different therapies and doing that, and all of them said, "Oh, it'll get rid of your hot flashes." Because it was to the point where it's hard to have a normal day-to-day life going through that. It's really cumbersome to have those happening out of nowhere throughout the day. And
Yeah.
it was 24/7 for me. It was at night. It wasn't night sweats. It was hot flashes at night where throwing the covers off, putting the fan on me. Then I
Mm.
would get cold, put the covers back on. I wasn't profusely sweating, but it was clamminess kind of thing. So I started going down the road of looking into HRT because they all said, this is what will get rid of your hot flashes.
Yeah.
So
I
I
had a
eventually,
friend pull
yeah,
me aside and do that same thing because I wasn't having the hot flashes, like I said, but, I've always been an uncomfortable sleeper. Like, I get hot, I get cold, so that's and like I said, I always run red and hot.
right,
So, those 2 things, I think because I spread that out through my whole life, nothing was very alarming for me with those, but I had some other things, and one of them being the worst was the fatigue.
right.
Um, that had gotten so bad. I know it has to do with the lessening of your estrogen levels.
Mhm.
Um, so and maybe it's a surge, maybe that's what causes the hot flash is that your body's still trying to push those hormones out and do that and 'cause I know the hot flashes and the nighttime fluctuation of temperature doesn't last forever, um,
No, doesn't.
but and that may come as our estrogen levels kind of lower, like, way low, um, to barely anything, but that's, again, where the HRT comes in. Mine was anxiety, really bad, anxiety, um, and the fatigue, obviously, like, that had gotten so bad a couple of years ago that, I mean, as you know, I coach, and I was at that time, and still mostly today, doing most of my coaching online,
Mhm.
and I would oftentimes have to take a short little nap before a session with a client, have my session with the client, and then have to take a nap afterwards.
Right,
That I would be just from talking fully exhausted to the point where I couldn't function, I couldn't do anything, and it really became debilitating because I couldn't go anywhere because I knew you can't just stop and take a nap, like, where you are, like,
right.
"Hold on a second, I gotta close my eyes." It just and I had nothing available to me, and, I was spending a lot of time in my garden and doing things that I really loved and still fully exhausted by those things. And I found that the one that's maybe there's a couple that have been big disappointments of the symptoms I've had with menopause, but I've always had a really good memory, very photographic memory, good recall, able to pull names out of hats, phone numbers, just a memorization of things because it was what I needed to have growing up. It was just kind of one of those things I needed to help get by, and so it really worked for me, and that just went, like, overnight. My recall it definitely has I've suffered because it's gone somewhere, and I know it comes back, and that's another promise of HRT. I don't know that that has been a benefit for me,
Mhm.
but I do feel that it's not as drastic as it was when I first started noticing it. But there'll be times that, I'm trying to think of, like, somebody I know, like, really, really well, like, what is their name?
Yeah,
Cannot remember it. I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna be talking to" and I just feel like nothing is in there. Nothing is in my brain. And I'm like, "Who am I talking to? What's their name? How do I know them?" I have to think of context. I go through all of these things. It's like, "What the hell? Like, where is that coming from?" Because it's always been so strong, my ability to do those things, and that is one that has been that's been a struggle for me.
No, I have trouble forming sentences sometimes. I can't think of the word. And a simple simple things. The other day, I could not think of the word pomegranate.
Yeah,
Couldn't think of it. I couldn't
yeah,
figure out what the name of the fruit was.
yeah.
Sitting
I've
there
been there.
like an idiot,
They were.
like an idiot. Cannot tell you what I needed because I can see it. I can see it on the tree. I walk by it every day. Couldn't tell you what it's called.
Luckily, I feel like it's also compounding with everything we've all been experiencing for the last 4 years. So, I think a little bit of that is just, I guess, like, a little overwhelm, right? Like, there's just so much competing information. We've had a lot of stuff, competing for our attention, and I know that I just have gotten to the point now where I'll be trying to come up with something, and I'm talking to my husband, and I'm like, "What's that word that" and I'll have to describe something. He's like, "Hmm, what is that word?" And both of us are a little I know he's not going through menopause, so I just feel like it's a safe space to kind of be like,
Right,
"Okay, clearly, I'm dealing with something that other people are dealing with, and on top of that, I've got this other thing that I'm going through, but there's some kind of grace there." And in the beginning, I felt really stressed out about that stuff, but now I'm like, I feel like it's softening a little bit, and I'm softening about it a little bit, so
right.
that's been really good.
And I think the more that you talk with other people and realize they're going through the same thing, it doesn't make you feel so isolated in this situation and so isolated with what you're going through because you're like, oh, okay, I forgot what it's, like even just with you and I, like, okay, I forgot what that's called, but you forgot that person's name. It's like,
Yeah.
you kind of are like, all right, it's okay. And you don't stress as much about it because
Yes.
at
Yeah.
some point it changes again. And a lot of this, whatever you're experiencing will go away or the memory will come back or the brain
Right.
fog will lift,
Yeah.
so in the meantime, it's kind of like just being able to maintain and deal with the symptoms and push through it,
Yeah.
you know, in
Yeah.
whichever way you decide to do it. Cause like talking with the HRT, like I tried it for 3 months. It did not do a thing for me and I stopped taking it. I just didn't find it to be I didn't find it to work for what I needed,
Yeah.
um, and so I'm just going down different routes of trying other things.
I've had the opposite, luckily.
Right, yeah, you I mean,
I've
yeah,
been
never
on it
you
for a
you
year. It's a year and a half now.
yeah.
Um, I will say that I still struggle with and this is probably TMI, but these are the conversations that we're gonna have. I I really struggle with my libido crashed with
Oh, yeah,
menopause.
yeah,
I had never really struggled with that, and uh,
same, no, same. It's like it was
and
like out of office, like, just
it
the
it's like
building.
without me, that's it. The out of office or there was
Yeah,
like a little cork and somebody pulled it and was like and then let everything go without letting me
totally,
know.
totally. Yeah,
And I'll
without letting you know. It just
without
happens.
letting me know.
Yeah,
And I kinda started noticing it a little bit right around that time that I was noticing all these other things. But who can keep up with all those things happening, like, all at once? So I was just like, "It must be because of this, because of this." I will say that I that's the one thing I'm really disappointed about with HRT, and in fact, I just had an interaction with the doctor about that
mhm,
because, um I've been doing it a year and a half. My chronic fatigue, gone. As soon as I started taking the combination of it was an estrogen progesterone combination and then DHEA,
mhm.
I think it was the DHEA that really helped with my, fatigue.
See, I'm
And
taking that as well for
yeah,
different yeah,
yeah, yeah. And I'm taking a pretty high dose, I think. I mean, compare, but I'm taking like the high end of what they recommend. And yeah, I feel great. And I go to the gym and I feel really good when I'm lifting weights. And I don't feel as strong as I did in my 30s and in my early 40s. Um, but I feel, and it just kind of depends on being uh in my 50s now, but I'm okay with where I'm lifting for my 50s, and I'm lifting weights in my 50s, and I think that's great. But and I guess the DHEA is supposed to help that, but the estrogen, progesterone, I was told was supposed to help with libido in addition to the DHEA. I've had no benefit with that. I've had no increase, no nothing. It's just like, again, like the out of office. And somebody closed the office and didn't tell me. And I talked to the doctor about that, and I was so irritated because the comment I got was, "Well, you're on the amount that it's supposed to be helping, so if you have no libido, it's gotta be something else. Maybe you're stressed out, or maybe, fill in the blank." Whatever, like, you're stressed out, or it's issues that you're not willing to talk about, or something. It was something ridiculous like that, and I was like, "Okay, but I've been s you can go back and look, like, it's something I've been talking about since the beginning of our correspondence with this, like, this isn't new." I'm like, "It's still an issue," which is what I said, but there was nothing there, and they're like, "Okay, deal with it." And it's like, that's where I feel like this is, and I know that there are coaches out there that help
Mhm.
people and that really get people in line with a good, supplement regimen and do all that. And so, like, I definitely applaud those. I know there's so much, and I know lifting weights and exercising and changing your diet can help, and there's so many things. But that's, I feel, especially, I mean, I've been in a, I guess it doesn't matter whether you're in a long-term relationship or not. Having your libido go away is, like, devastating.
No, it is. It
Devastating.
doesn't matter. Yeah, it is because I had the same thing, just all of a sudden, it's gone, and then have to explain. It's actually hard to explain because your husband doesn't get it,
Yeah.
not being in your shoes. He just
Yeah.
thinks, "Oh, you're just not into this." No, no. No,
The
no.
male drive doesn't that drive doesn't really,
No, that
it
doesn't go
may
away.
lessen, but it doesn't go away,
I'm not having the
you
lesson
know?
part
No, no, but I'm just saying, like, as
on the
that's
end.
part of male biology, I guess, like, it doesn't, they can continue to go on
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Like,
And
and
yes, that
women
is not the same.
obviously can't.
Right.
Women
So it's
can't.
a conversation where it's like, I want to, but something is not letting me. Like, it's kind of a mind fuck. It's like because it's like you want this to happen, but it's something is stopping you.
Yeah,
So, they did put me on I was on just estrogen because not having a uterus, I don't have to take progesterone with
right.
it. So, it was a 50-50 estrogen split. I don't remember the 2 types.
Okay.
And then DHEA, and
Yeah,
not noticing much, I went off the estrogen because I also, of course, did a deep dive on estrogen, finding
sure.
it's actually a carcinogen and along at the same level carcinogen as cigarettes are. That's how they're
Yeah,
ranked. And just knowing I'm very careful with what I put in my body,
sure.
and I just was not willing, not having an effect, I wasn't willing to keep doing that. So
Yeah.
I stayed on just the DHEA, which I'm still taking, and
Mhm.
I can't remember, it's 2, is it fif I can't remember the dosage now,
Probably
but
50 milligrams if you're taking 2.
I
I
think it
think
is
they
50. I think
typically
they're
come
each
in
25
25.
milligrams.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So I'm on 2, and I will say that has helped a little bit. I mean,
Yeah,
that has helped bring it back, not to what it was, but, at least, like, the lights are on in the office and,
right.
it's, like, not functioning completely, but there's something there. So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just shut down. So that actually has helped, some of it.
Good,
And I'm
good.
kinda looking into other things because I also read about, that, women actually need progesterone. because that's one thing that your body doesn't keep making. As
Yeah.
you get older, that decreases and there isn't anything replacing it. It just decreases. So
Decreases.
there is a study that I had read about where, instead of women taking more estrogen to help, you actually need to take progesterone. I
Yeah.
haven't tried it yet. There is a specific one that I have like the link to that it's progesterone mixed in with, I think it's an vitamin E oil.
Okay.
Because it was a specific ratio so that it was getting into this your system correctly. But um, that's on my list. I have a list of things to like
Yeah.
go to, and
Absolutely.
is on the list of things to try. But I started taking moon juice. It's moon juice makes a super you,
Mhm.
and I found that that has helped with mood. Those do help. So
Oh,
a couple things are helping. So I'm not like having what I was having months ago. There is improvement, which is good.
yeah. Yeah.
But you have to try these things, and usually it's like 3 months at a time to see if it's even going to work. So
Absolutely.
it just
Absolutely.
it's
I know there's different things that like, people I know have taken, um, like, wild yam,
Mhm.
for progesterone, and, like, that's really helped them. I think, obviously, staying active
Right.
and doing things within what you feel like you can do. Like, I definitely, like I said, that has shifted for me, like, what I feel capable of doing from my 30s and 40s, and obviously it would, but as somebody that had a history in fitness and coaching fitness and, um, lifting heavy was important to me, and it was something that I really believed in. It's interesting to see what I'm capable of now versus what I was capable of, and how my body will tell me, "No, not now. Like,
Right.
this is good enough. Where you are is good for right now." And that I can tell what if my body's responding in a positive way, and building muscle, which obviously in this time is really, really important.
Right.
But our needs also change, like the need for and I know that we'll do an episode on each of these things. So about fitness and exercise and about food and the at all of these things revolving around menopause. Because again, I mean, menopause is having its moment now. Like there are people talking that there are some amazing doctors out there that are talking. And I think we can dive into the HRT conversation about the pros and cons of it um, because, um, I think there are some ideas that it is harmful, and there are some ideas that it's harmful if you don't do it. So I think us
Yes.
getting into and having an idea of what it is that we wanna discuss and doing the research and then coming to the conversation with each other, having done like, "This is what I found," I think it's gonna be really helpful for the listener, of this podcast because you're going to get to hear our different perspectives, our different styles of doing research, our different, what we bring. I mean, Sarah and I, obviously, we're different people, but we have different ways of approaching everything,
Right.
I'm assuming, while still maintain a friendship.
Not that different. I think we're of like mind. I
We
think we're of
are.
like mind, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at things from different angles, which
That's right.
everybody does, and everybody's body's different. So, like, things that work for you aren't gonna work for me, vice versa.
That's
So,
it.
it's kind of like if you don't have the thing that works for you, you're gonna go find it. But
Yeah,
also, like you said, I've read articles where if you don't take it, you could have problems with, heart disease, with your bones, with the, bone density. There's other things that come up. So,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
anything, right? It's like what is it,
No.
Is it good? Is it bad? Is it okay?
Yeah,
Does it work
yeah,
for you, not work for you? It's
that's
one of
it.
those, all you can do is get the information and make your own decision.
Yeah.
But hearing more people talk about it, also weighing
Getting the
in.
conversation out there. I think just having the conversation is gonna be super, super helpful
No, it's
because,
huge.
like, people are getting small little snippets
Yeah.
on social media, you're getting reels or you're getting TikTok videos or whatever, um, but that's not usually in conversation, and so getting to hear the conversation, and being able to, align with certain things or not, I think that's the nice thing about conversation and different, um different opinions, but also, like, different ideas of research that come up, and we're gonna find, obviously, different sources, so it's just gonna be nice to be able to get into those things, and that comes across the board with diet, with exercise, with,
Okay.
supplements, with HRT, like, all of it, so I'm really, really excited for, the conversation the coming conversations
No,
about
absolutely.
menopause.
And also at some point, I'd like, it'd be great to hear other people and hear what
Absolutely.
they're going through and they can, write in, let us know if there's things that, work for them or things that, they want to weigh in on and experiences. Like the more the merrier.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you'll be able to find out how to get in touch with us in our show notes, so please take a look at those. And if you have any questions or if you have any topics that you'd like us to discuss, we would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And we do have our email set up at oh tell me podcast@gmail.com.
There you go. Well,
So
this has been really good. This is our first podcast recording,
it
and
is.
I am super excited about all that is in front of us.
Absolutely.
And for you, listener, I hope that, we got to just, in this conversation, got to help you, like, understand a little bit about us and who we are and how we have, like, what our experiences have been, but just get to know our personality. And this is kind of, I mean, obviously it's the first episode, so we're still gonna, try to find our groove, but really getting to know, like, how well Sarah and I, obviously, how well we can have discussions together and have I mean, we have lots of stuff we'll share, and
We do. And we can talk for hours. So
that's right, that's right. All right, well, thank you so much, and looking
thank
forward
you.
to all of our future conversations.
Can't wait.